Hi, welcome to the National Music Academy. I'm Mitchell, and today we're going to be talking about things that you can do to prepare for busking. So, busking can be described as performing in a public space and putting out a container for donations. Cities like New York, London, and Melbourne are known for their amazing busking culture. But there are also lots of spaces in Newcastle for you to go busking yourselves. These places include Derby Street, Hunter Street, and Beaumont Street, just to name a few. There are also a ton of small businesses looking for buskers to play out the front of their stores. For people just starting out gigging, busking is a great way to build up your confidence and to get your set list sounding great. It's also a great way to start a small income for beginner musicians as well. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you some things that you can consider when you're preparing for busking. Get your set list sounding tight. So whether you're doing just an hour out in the streets, 2 hours, even a couple of hours, make sure that you have a set list that you're comfortable to play with and that you know you can play well. Busking is great for developing a set list as it lets you see what songs grab people's attention the most, as well as which ones grab the biggest reaction. It's also a great place to test out any new songs that you've learned live. Also, make sure that you have a hard copy of your set list so you know exactly what song is going to be coming up next. When structuring your set list, you might also want to consider what songs go when. You don't want to have too many songs that are insanely hard to play one after the other. You'll want to space them out so you don't tire yourself out. In the opposite regard, having too many slow songs might actually bring the energy down, and it might mean people might start to walk away. Also, when creating set lists and songs, consider the location that you'll be performing them in. Pairing the right kind of songs with the right kind of location will mean that more people will stop by to give you a listen. So when busking your acoustic songs, you might only need your acoustic guitar, a gig bag, and a street corner to play on. However, in larger or more populated areas, you might need a setup just to make yourself sound a little bit louder and make yourself more well known to the patrons of the street. It can look something like this. Now this is a pretty extreme busking setup, but I'm going to go through each of the parts for you to consider what things that you can add to your own setup. Having a small or portable speaker is great, as it means you can project your instrument and your voice a lot louder. Most small and portable speakers have at least 2 inputs, one for your acoustic guitar and one for your voice. However, when it comes to speakers, you might also want to consider the battery life, because the amount of time the speaker can stay on is the amount of time that you can use it in your performance. However, if you can find a power source on the street or through a local shop, you can have power for the whole of your set. The space behind the hard case is a great place for you to put your set list, as well as a water bottle and any pedals you might need for the performance. If you're using a guitar on your set, make sure you have enough picks, as well as a trusty tuner and a capo. Now, hard cases are great for transporting your instrument and making sure that it stays safe, and they also act as really great containers for donations. On top of that, you can use it as your very own ad space, which brings me to our next point: promoting yourself. As a musician, you should always be marketing and promoting yourself, as that's what gets your name out around town and that's what gets you gigs. Because you're not playing in a venue, there won't be any posters or promotions talking about you as a musician. So, you have to do it yourself. Having some signage to go in your case, showing what your name is, as well as what your YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and SoundCloud links are great ways to promote yourself and your music. You might also put down the times and locations of other venues you might be performing at. And as always, business cards are great for buskers, as people can take one and like your page when they get home, or they can even call you up if they want you to play at one of their functions. Make sure you're up to date on your city's laws with busking. So before you cart out all your gear and go and play in the street, you got to make sure you do a little bit of research about where you can actually busk in your city. On top of that, you also got to look up the rules in place by the city council about what you can and can't do when you're busking. All information about the laws about busking can usually be found on your city council website. If you have any more questions, you can always email or contact the representative listed down. The general rules for busking in most cities include not taking up all the pathway and letting people go past, making sure that you're not too loud, and making sure that you always ask permission before borrowing power from a business. As long as you know what you can and can't do when you're busking, you'll be all set. read the crowd, and play the mood. Just like any other live performance, it's always great to look at the audience reaction from your songs and then adjust your playing to suit that. If you've got a bit of a crowd going and the energy is high, make sure you sustain that energy. If you see that some songs don't necessarily get a good audience reaction, don't worry. All you need to do is just go home, practice it a bit more, and then come back out and play it again. When you're starting a set for the day, it's really great to grab people's attention with a really high energy song. Don't take people's criticism to heart. Now, as you're playing out in the open, you might encounter someone who might be treating you not very nicely. However, if someone does come to you with a little bit of constructive advice about maybe not playing a certain song, maybe adding something to your promotional material, or even maybe turning it down, don't take it to heart, just take it on board and consider it next time you're out in the streets. Taking on advice from multiple people is how you grow as a musician and a performer. Take plenty of breaks and don't tire yourself out. Now, as you're not playing in an actual venue, there's no set time limit to how long or how short you can play for. You can go for 45 minutes or you can go all the way for a couple of hours straight. However, it's really important that you make sure you get enough breaks during your playing time. If you go for too long and waste all of your energy, you might actually find it affects your playing. If you do find yourself getting tired, just have a couple minutes break, get your energy back up, and then get back out there. Also, make sure that you have enough food and water on the day to keep your energy up and to keep yourself hydrated, especially if you're playing outside. Get comfortable and have fun. As a performer, music should always be about having fun and enjoying yourself. If you feel a bit nervous when you start off, just relax into it and you'll actually see that your music improves and people will start to enjoy the music more. The hardest part of busking is always the first song. So my advice to you is just get comfortable and have fun with it. And if you're having fun, you'll also find that the audience will be having fun too. This might mean that they might be putting more donations into your case. So that's it for our tips and tricks about preparing for busking. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any other questions about busking or you want to know more about the performance opportunities that we have here at the National Music Academy, please get in contact with us. Our details are down below. My name is Mitchell and we'll see you guys in the next video.